This is the original pitch deck for Stranger Things. It is a 21-page document describing the idea for the show, the characters, and a loose outline of the story. As you read through it, you might notice that some things ended up changing, but something that really stands out is the sheer amount of inspiration the creators of the show took from a bunch of classic movies from the 80s. In fact, in the very first page of the document, they describe the story as having the feeling of fear and wonder from E.T., the helpless dread from Jaws, the horror from It, and the friendship of Stand By Me. And to further convey the tone, they made the cover page look like a classic Stephen King book. So this got me thinking, how much of that inspiration actually ended up in the final show? And it turns out, a lot. From the visual style, to the music, themes, characters, storylines, and even specific scenes, the influences can be seen everywhere. Like the character of Eleven, she goes through the same experiment as the one from Altered States, and the way they test her abilities is identical to the movie Firestarter. Her powers are very similar to the main character from Carrie, and just like E.T., she is found by a group of friends who hide her from the government and end up in a very big bicycle chase, only to be saved by the most incredible display of her abilities. She enters a state of mind that is visually represented exactly like the Void from Under the Skin, and learns to control her powers the way Luke Skywalker did in Star Wars. But it doesn't just stop there. Sometimes they even recreate entire scenes, like this one from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or have borrowed elements from a number of classic movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Exorcist, Back to the Future, Jaws, Aliens, The Terminator, Poltergeist, Shutter Island, Super 8, Stand By Me, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Silence of the Lambs, Witness, The Thing, Alien, and many more. Essentially, just like in a recipe, they took the ingredients of everything they love and by combining it together with their own personal touch, they ended up creating something new.
They were bound to happen.
So, does that mean that Stranger Things is just a ripoff? Well, no. And not only that, but what you just saw is the very definition of creativity. Steal Like an Artist. A fantastic book written by Austin Kleon that talks about the fact that nothing is original. Basically, all creative work is built on what came before it, and the people who embrace that inspiration are the ones who end up with something great. Like Quentin Tarantino, he is notorious for doing that, and in 1994 he was quoted with saying that he steals from every single movie ever made. But despite of it, his movies are so incredibly unique that he's essentially created his own genre. And the more movies you watch, the more you start noticing just how much they steal from each other. When people call something original, 9 out of 10 times, they just don't know the references or the original sources involved. In the 1970s, George Lucas wanted to make a movie adaptation of the Flash Gordon comics and serials. According to him, it was a fantastic story that had a lot of potential, but no matter how much he tried, he was never able to secure the rights. So instead, he wrote his own story that also takes place in a galaxy far away, and the rest is history. He took a lot of inspiration from it, but he also made it his own by building upon it and combining it with other ideas. It is important to say that to steal is not the same as copying. To steal like an artist means to take something that inspires you and study it until you figure out what it is about it that makes it work. As Conan O'Brien says,
"It is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us and makes us unique."
Nobody is born with a style. In the beginning, we learn by pretending to be our heroes. And going back to Stranger Things, that is exactly what the creators of the show did. Back in 2011, they wrote the script for a movie in which they were trying to emulate the tone and filmmaking style of M. Night Shyamalan. Eventually, he got his hands on the screenplay and ended up liking it so much that he invited them over to help him with the show he was working on and even gave them some mentoring along the way. Because of that, they felt ready to develop their own project and wrote the pitch deck for the show that would become the global phenomenon we know today. Francis Ford Coppola once said this: "We want you to take from us. We want you, at first, to steal from us, because you can't steal. You will take what we give you and you will put it in your own voice, and that's how you will find your voice, and that's how you begin. And then one day someone will steal from you.